And I'm joined with the team today. I've got Spencer, I've got Romy, and I've got Adam. And for those of you that are joining back, yes, I just had a blue screen of death and we crashed. Let's not talk about it. We're just going to restart from the top of the hour. Guys, welcome. How you doing? How you doing today?
Very good,
Really
mate.
good.
Very good.
Nice, nice, nice. Right, well, we're going to delete the old recording, pretend that never happened. And I just wanted to start by saying, wow, like what an incredible experience this last couple of months has been. This is going to be on recording, so some of you may be watching this on replay. If you are, we're all in Discord. Obviously, the team have been super, super busy rebuilding Sunflower Land, which is now live for open beta. 100,000 people. If you want to play, you can. All you need to do is be in the Discord. Join the Discord. As long as you're verified, you can go to the website sunflower-land.com and you can join the open beta and you can test the game. And that's a really good place to start this conversation, guys. Like, how do you feel about this game? I mean, it's not the same game anymore, right? It's evolved. What are your thoughts now, kind of compared to where we started this? Like, let's go back to that AMA where we shut the game down and you made that announcement. How do you feel now in comparison to like how you felt then?
I think it's completely different now. With the initial game, this was a prototype that we built in our spare time. And sort of once January hit, we knew how big this game could be, the potential it had. I left a job then. I went all in on this project. And the last 3 months has just been non-stop working with the community, building out this game. We built everything from scratch, built botting systems from scratch, this entire system, new gameplay, new skills, everything. It's been exhausting, but to actually get to this point where we're launching and the entire community has just come back. It's 45,000 accounts have just been created. And so to have people back and playing, I feel relieved at this point that all this hard work for the last few months has paid off.
How about you, Spencer? How do you feel?
Yeah, I think it's wild. I don't know if everyone knows this, but like we all used to work together at a different company, and I can still remember the day sitting in this tiny little, 5-person office, having a look at this game and just being like, what is this? It's like so cute, just playing around. And then everything that happened before, once we took the game down, it was kind of like, oh, whoa, this could really be something. And like Adam said, that triggered off a ton of events. Adam left his job. I just resigned from my job with the intention of joining full time at the beginning of May. And it's like all of these things. It's like been a life changing event. And I think we've just had so much support from the community. It's almost like this little thing was meant to be, it's like this little engine that could, and everybody's just backed it the whole time, and it just feels really amazing. I mean, our lives are in a completely different place now, due to this game, which is really 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 wild to think about.
And this community, right, is an insane community. I mean, we have not only is it you guys that are building like behind the scenes, we have this army of like the Sunflower Army. We've got developers, designers, musicians, all of these people contributing in this open source manner to bring assets into the game. Like, Romy, how does that feel from your perspective? Like when you consider you've got all of this support now, like helping you. Like I remember when we jumped on that first stream together and you were chatting away. Like how does it feel now when you look back a couple of months ago to like where we are now?
Yeah, it's great to see how we evolved from the first version and how much we learned with all the everything that happened, the good things and the bad things, and the way the Sunflower Land now is with the help with this community, with the help of the developers, from the designers and everyone. And yeah, the community is amazing. I see a lot of people on our server saying they've never seen a crypto community like this, and this is really nice to see because everyone has this image of crypto and people trying to scam you and rug pulls and all this, and we are completely different, and people can see that, and that's amazing when I you know read people saying decent, really talking good things about our community.
Well, I think that's the strange thing about this community as well, and not the community, but the project itself. It doesn't feel like a crypto project. I mean, it defies everything that Web3 stands for, right? There's no whitelist grind. There was no missed deadlines. I mean, you've actually exceeded every deadline. You've been above and beyond, not just in time frame. I mean, that in itself is rare to launch early, but also in features. Most people don't even realize this because their expectations are being set. Maybe this isn't a good thing. Maybe we're setting that expectation for people, but people don't even realize. Like when you launched before one of the versions within the closed beta, you gave people access to farm resources, and that wasn't even planned. You just said, no, we need to do this. So you kind of built it in, and you're shipping at an incredible rate right now. I mean, I can't even keep up. Every time I log in, there's a new thing. How do you guys do it? How are you different to every other crypto project out there? Like, what is it that this small, dedicated, passionate team can do to get stuff? Just like, is it just that you're just geniuses? Do you work well together? Like, what's the secret sauce here, guys? How can we inspire other projects to take a leaf out of your book?
I always like to comment to Spencer and to Adam how we work well together, and then this really reflects the community we have. Like the way we behave is sort of reflected on the community, and we have this beautiful community now. And I always mention this to them because this is a really beautiful thing that we have. Like we are really friends, and we built this thing together, and it's awesome to see it live.
Well, Spencer said as well, you guys were working before on another project. So, and a lot of people don't even realize this. I think this was the turning point in that when the game was live before, and obviously, Polygon had challenges and people were coming to spread their happy messages in our Discord server at that time. I think when we look back to those moments, people came angrily because they couldn't do what they were doing on the network. But they stayed because they saw that you were just passionate gamers and friends doing this part-time because you all had like full-time jobs. Like now, Adam, you're like doing this. This is like a full-time thing for you. You guys are, between all your other like commitments in life, you've been able to put this together. It's not like you're even all able, like you didn't even start doing this full-time. And now, you're like, as Spencer said, your life has kind of changed in this new direction. Talk me through this, guys. Like, bring me up to like where we are now. This experience, like, how's it been for you guys? How's it been on a personal level for you to have experienced this journey from your perspective? Because we see the community side, we see the public side, but from your side, how's it been?
It's been overwhelming, exciting, exhausting, but it's just given us this amazing platform to actually build out these ideas that we feel so strong about. I don't think everyone gets a chance like this when you have such a strong community, people playing. You've got a lot of media attention on this. Everyone wants to play this game. We have a few options here, and like we can actually make a really big impact. There's things that people from V1 know that we're very passionate about, which is the decentralization, giving back to charities. But we've got all these other ideas that we want to explore. And I think that sort of the naivety of us entering this crypto gaming ecosystem, not coming from a AAA crypto gaming or these large projects, is we want to do things differently. Like we haven't done this Genesis mutant pre-sale mint of all our farms. It's like, no, we're going to build things. We're not going to be over promising things and pumping them up and be like, hey, buy this and in 2 years you can play the game. It's like, we're just going to keep shipping features. If you like this, go and play the game. We're not going to be like, you might pop in the game one day and you see there's a really cool NFT to craft and you're like, where did this just come from? And that's just us pumping out features. Like we've got this direction we want this game to go, and we're just going strong at that. And like, we're so passionate for trying to get this idea and build this huge, amazing game that's going to be community run. And that's just keeping this engine burning right now and keeping me going, especially.
Yeah, well, I mean, and we need you to keep going, man. You are absolutely, all of you are just incredible at making this happen. And this kind of brings me to kind of a thought that I had when we look back at the old version, because this is a different game. It's not even the same game anymore. Every time I log in, something new's happened. I'm like, oh, there's this now, and there's that. I feel kind of sorry for anyone that's trying to make tutorial guides, because they're going to have to update them every week. Like, it's always going to be a new thing to see. Talk me through, just for a moment, if you can, like, and let me just say this to the chat. And by the way, if you have comments, I will read out some of the comments. We'll go through them. We cannot see the Twitter comments, so you'll need to be watching on YouTube or at least commenting on YouTube. Inside the Discord in the announcement, both links are there. This is on Twitter and on YouTube. We're live on both platforms right now. But if you do want to interact, it has to be on. You'll see it on the screen, but it will have to be on YouTube. Sorry, the software doesn't bring in Twitter comments. But with that being said. And also, just before we do get into this, one of the comments I've just seen, and I feel kind of left out on this one, Spencer, is like, when merch? I'm seeing these. I'm seeing these. Like, what are these guys? Look at these T-shirts. Can we show them off? Like, I mean, they look. I feel sad I don't have one. Like, can I farm that?
It's definitely coming. I think there's been, like you said, man, there's been so many competing objectives that are coming in from every which way. We got 3 t-shirts made. These Romy got one size too big, so we've got an example of what they could look like in every iteration. But it's definitely coming. Look, I mean, like we said, it's a small team. We have so many things that we want to do, and it's all coming. We want people to have stickers. We want to see Sunflower Land everywhere, so people can kind of share this thing that we're all so passionate about. But it's definitely coming.
This, do you know what? This is what it kind of gives me goosebumps right now. Like, just thinking about this. Most projects out there, and we've seen it a lot, are, oh, look, how can we get the community to buy our token? Like, how can we dump our governance on them? How can we make profit? How can we... You don't have that mindset. You'll come into this. Like, let's just remember, guys, there was no pre-mine. There was no token allocation. There was nothing that was built out of thin air to say, hey, we're going to make loads of money out of this. Everything that you guys have in the game, you've had to farm and build yourself. Like, you're a player. Like everyone else, right? Like when people are complaining that they've got to grind their radishes, we're grinding our radishes like at the same time. Like, we feel that pain. We're if anything, we're causing ourselves pain, because it's like, oh, this is not nice, but we know we need to do it because it's part of the economy, part of the things that need to happen. So I want guys to remember that. Like, we're not clicking buttons and going, oh, do you know what? We're just going to have 1,000 sunflowers because we're devs. Like, it doesn't work like that. This is like, we're playing the game like everybody else, right? How does it feel?
Cauliflowers, by the way, I love them.
Yeah, same. But I think
I do. I sit there with my tea in the morning and I'll log in to Sunflower Land and I'll be like, change. And I don't know if anyone saw it. There was a video by Mystic recently, like a guide, and we posted it in the announcements, in the channel yesterday, and he was saying, like, he sets his alarms on his phone, he logs in, he's got different. And it's so fascinating to see how other people play the game, right? Because I've got my way of playing the game. But then I realized that other people have a different way of playing it. Like, they do different crops in different ways. And I'm like, oh, actually, there's a whole strategic element to this. NFT Army have built like this ridiculous spreadsheet that kind of just has so much data that like covers the statistics and the analytical side. You've got designers, you've got musicians, you've got developers, you've got botters that are white hat botters that are actually creating bots to help, to say like, oh, look, this is how a bot can get through. Like, you can use this to like, to see the community come together. This is not about like, oh, we're all going to make like millions of pounds and sit back on our farm and like, yaha, we're going to, like, this is like, we're going to build something incredible as a community and we're going to work together. That's powerful. Like, right there, that's powerful. I mean, you have 40,000 farms in just over 24 hours. Since it officially, I know we did a stealth launch, so you could technically say it was 2 days, but we wanted to do the flow of traffic, right? We wanted to make sure that it didn't break. 40,000 farms, 24 hours after the official announcement of open beta. How does that feel? Talk me through that, guys.
It feels pretty crazy. We've we're a little bit accustomed to this from our last launch, knowing how quickly things can go from 0 to 100. But you never know. When launch day comes around, you never know what happens. And so the nerves always build up. But seeing those numbers sort of keep ticking up and up, it's just, we're so grateful for everyone playing the game and who's stuck with us from the first version as well. So big thank you to everyone.
Well, that's it.
Massive thanks,
right?
massive thanks to everyone in closed beta. I mean, closed beta ran for a number of weeks. Everyone was so responsive, you know, creating bug tickets, playing the game, trying to break the game, like doing crazy, you know, trying to do crazy stuff to see what could happen. And then to all of the community devs that jumped on all those bug tickets, like closed beta was so useful and helped us so much that I think it took, for me anyway, it took a lot of pressure off of the launch of open beta for sure.
I can see people saying, "Yeah, let's go. Let's break the Polygon network again." we want to, not in a bad way, but that was good marketing, right? And yeah, on that note, can I also just give a massive shout out to the moderators, the ambassadors, the international moderators, like everybody. There are so many people, even the community members who are just helping people by just responding in general chat. Like farmers chat can be a dark place sometimes, you know. You can answer the same question 400 times within a minute. I mean, we've all had our jokes with it, but at the same time, when a new person does come in and they don't realize what's been happening, like you could say something 400 times and someone new could come in and you could be like, "Oh my God, we've already said that for," but they don't know that. They're new. They're coming into this community for the first time. You're the first impression that they get. And I'm talking to the chat really here. Like how you represent Sunflower Land is on you as a community. When I first come into the Discord, and I was joking, I was like, "Hey guys, I was playing a different game. You broke my game, and everyone was like, "Lol," and it was just a really funny awareness thing that I think that was when it was like starting to kick in. Okay, we've broken Matic. Like that was the start of that conversation. But it was that intro where you welcomed me. That moment right there blew me away because I was like, wow, this is a community. This is not a pump and dump. This is not a we're going to get rich off of you. This is not a, hey, how can we make millions of dollars? This is a fun game that people love playing with an incredible community. Like facts. That's it. To have built that, I mean, I salute each and every one of you. You're incredible. So
I think it goes back, Steve, to what you were saying before about, you know, no pre-mine, we're still farming ourselves. I mean, together as a team, we've definitely had meetings where we've talked about this idea that we really want to stay true to our ethics and who we are as people and have that filtered down into the community. It's not by chance that the community, I believe, is, you know, kind, caring, responsive, helpful. I think it's coming from the top down, and it's one of our highest priorities, I think, is to always stay true to who we are as people, which is calm, nice, you know, like want to make sure that everyone is, you know, having a good time. And then for this to be a collective experience, you know, our end goal is decentralization. We don't want to be these kind of overlords of this game. What we want to do is create something that is for everybody and that everybody can take part in. So I think it's very much by design that this is happening. And it's something that we want to continue to cultivate. And big ups to everybody in the chat that is kind of letting that happen and becoming that as well and taking part in this. You know, we're super grateful to see that happening and have that be representative of our team.
Oh, absolutely, and it's a beautiful place to be. I I laugh and I joke, but I say this all the time that there are so many projects out there, but there's nothing like this. There's nothing like this, and it makes me laugh because I see a lot of time people say, "Hey, I've got this promotional opportunity for you," and it's like, if anything, right now we're going to be helping you. Like this has got kind of this has got a just an incredible energy around it, and you've built something amazing. I absolutely love it. I'd really be grateful if you talk me through the game, like some of the things that you've like experienced in this journey since you've been working behind the scenes. I know it's very rare that we get a chance to kind of grab you guys together, so I don't want to really talk much myself. I kind of want to hand this over and give it to you guys. Can you talk me through kind of what you're doing, what's been going on, what your thoughts are moving forward. Like, how does this kind of look from each of your perspectives in terms of where we've been, where we are, and where we're going?
Yeah, the answer is it changes every week, Steve. It's like crypto's so new, and we're learning so much, and new people are coming in the community. We're learning about how people are playing the game, why people are focusing on certain resources, and so each week we're building new features. We're changing the way that roadmap looks. I guess where we are right now, I might share my screen as well.
Sure.
And
Birkin
I'll
saying,
bring up
"Who's the guy with the guitar?" That's the man right there. You when you're sitting there farming, listening to your soundtracks, that's your man. All of the sound effects, every time you open, I still remember back that video where you were like dropping the coins and you were like, this is going to be a sound effect. Every time I go to the bank, I see that video in my head.
That was a good one.
Yeah, if you do share your screen, I'll be able to bring that up. Let me know once you're there. But yeah, this is one of those things where we have really seen the power of when you guys do come together and when you build. I mean, the idea that you've got different lands, the idea of the expansions, the idea that you can adjust and pivot. Like if you see the game going in a direction, you're agile enough. It's not like you're sitting in board meetings with red tape and you can't move. Like if something needs to change, you can act. That's incredible to have that power, right? To see that. I can't see your screen, by the way. I'm not sure if you're sharing it.
Yeah, I've just I'll try it again.
Oh, okay. Let me just look through some of the comments, by the way. The music is beautiful, says Mana. Let's have a look through. When Axie Infinity Sunflower Land collab, just draw. Axie are not ready for us. Like, I love Axie, but they're not ready for us. Like, you think Ronan's had problems recently? Wait until we get on their network. They wouldn't survive. Love them. No Free Time says it's so true. I love bringing in new people and helping them out. That's amazing. In fact, No Free Time, that's exactly what this is about. It's about you guys helping bring in those new people and also making them feel like they belong to part of the family. People are saying Polygon's shaking at the moment. Polygon's already broken. Well, if you haven't had a chance yet, make sure you go into the shop and look at the Polygon Rock. I think there's still some available to mint. I think you might need some resources for that, which is another thing right now. I mean, I don't know how you guys are playing the game. I'm panicking right now because I've got some resources, but I'm like, there's a few things I still need to mint. And on the 15th, when this opens, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to mint everything. Like, there's a lot of people playing this game right now, and they're hungry, and there's a limited amount of resources. Like, I'm nervous. Like, I'm going to miss out on something and have to go and buy it on a secondary market. How do you guys feel? Like, are you ready? Are you actually, apart from Adam, who's obviously got the dev account, some people have, and let me just qualify this. There is a dev account. Obviously, there needs to be one to test. That's not Adam's main account. It's the dev account. So if you go into like Farm 1 and go, how's he got 4 million gold? It's not going to be in the game and in circulation. That's just for testing. We're in beta. But in terms of your personal farms, guys, are you ready? Are you ready for this onslaught of the 15th?
I don't
sure
have
I'm going to be starting in a couple. Yeah. I don't know how we. Yeah. I'm sure I'm going to be starting a couple of them. Definitely.
I've got the minting has gone live for the flags already. And I have got my Australian, Brazilian, and sunflower flag minted, so I'm pretty happy, feeling safe with those ones.
Nice. Your screen's not coming through, by the way, Adam. Is it? Are you having challenges with it, or? Oh no, here it is.
I can see it.
No, I have it. Here we go. Yes, there we go. I have it.
I think there's sort of no agenda for this chat today. I'm happy to go where we are. While we are on the idea of resources and collecting items.
Yes.
I think a big takeaway is that right now we have 90 different tokens in Sunflower Land.
Right.
And this is just for our beta. And this is the whole idea of the game, that everything is a token. And so while you're collecting these in the game, you can withdraw them, you can send them to friends, you can do anything you want once you take them out of the game. And it adds this really strategic gameplay element. Like if you can see there's a huge demand for wood, when you wake up, you're going to start chopping wood. If you see that there's a shortage for radishes on the market, you're going to start planting radishes. And so you're not just confined playing this game, you're actually looking at what's happening on these markets, what should I be focusing on. And I think one of the most valuable resources is gold. It's quite hard to get. A lot of the crafting recipes require it. You can come in here and you can actually check out how is the supply of gold going. So there's actually 38,000 gold. And so amongst about 45,000 people, it's less than one bit of gold per person. And so this is a really good way if you're into your spreadsheets and figuring out how much effort I need to get a resource, how much a resource is going to be worth, will I get enough time to get enough resources? Come in here, everything's on the blockchain. Check out how much is in circulation. This is what I want. I have been too busy the last 3 days since wheat was released to actually farm wheat. And so I'm probably going to come in here and I'm going to buy a bunch of wheat once the withdrawals start. I find this so cool, and so many people have been reaching out, and my friends are always coming on here and tracking items and seeing who's picking what. We've got skills. I think we touched on this before. You've got all this farming aspect, you've got the animals aspect, you're earning experience in different parts, and you can actually choose different skill paths this time. So if you want to be focused on crops, you can choose certain things like the green thumb, and this will actually come and give you, it'll give you a boost. So you actually yield more crops. And the great thing here, you can see 800 people have already reached level 5 and chosen this skill. And you can do this for the same. You can see who's choosing the animal skill. If you're smart and you saw that there was a shortage in people with this animal skill, you'd probably want to take that path because there's going to be a big demand for animal resources. And if everyone's taking that crop path, you probably want to do something different. You want to stand out from the crowd. So when new items come, you've actually got an advantage then. I'll take a pause. Is there anything wrong in Spencer? You guys wanted to sort of chime in around the resources in the game and how it's all working?
Guys, just before you do chime in on that, just because there's a lot of questions with the same thing, just to address those on what you said, just before we cover that. 2 things. 1, wow, this is incredible. Like, to see how the strategic element comes in is amazing. First question, are crops going to be tradable as well? We saw wheat. Is wheat the only crop, or are all crops going? There we go.
Okay.
Just answered my question. They're all there, right? You're going to be able to sell and buy all crops.
So everything you see here with the brown background, these are tradable, and the protocol is designed in a way that, for anyone familiar with ERC20, it's very similar. It's 18 decimal places, and so they're made to be traded on markets. So if you wanted to buy 0.0001 of a pumpkin, say in a few years' time when it's very hard to farm an entire pumpkin, you'll be able to buy a fraction of it. And so all of these brown background resources, those are the ones they're going to be heavily traded. All of these green ones you see, these are mainly the craftable items. So things that you mint, these one-off items that are super rare. But there's heaps. The vision is that there's going to be thousands of all these different items. They all have different effects, and it just creates this self-sufficient sort of game economy.
Nice. And so, okay, so now we know that we're going to have the ability that, hey, I wasn't able to get onto my farm and play the game for a while, but I really want to grab this this golden egg so I can go and buy the gold, I can go and buy the eggs, which is going to create the demand in the marketplace. So let me ask you a question then, and I hope I don't put you on the spot with this, but I'd love to ask it. Are there any anti-WoW mechanisms in place to prevent people just throwing money at the game and buying everything and holding it?
I think if we are trying to be a real market economy, in real markets, but there are whales. There are people that buy up big corporations, and so we're not going to prevent that in all cases. There's obviously things like if you're on a farm, you can only mint one item, and so a whale's just not going to go and mint all of them. There's going to be rate limiting. We're going to have mechanisms in place to prevent a bot coming in and just grabbing everything.
Yeah.
But we won't prevent, like, if you're a whale, if you really like this game, or if you want to team up with a bunch of friends and buy a scarecrow so you can farm more sunflowers, people can go and do that. We're not going to dictate what choices you make. We're not giving any advice, any gameplay advice or financial advice how you play the game. You can choose. It's up to you.
That's a really, really important point there, I think, is that it is this open economy where you can do what you want. And whilst we're going to take precautions to protect people, we're not going to, as Adam just said, we're not going to dictate what you should do. We're going to, all we're interested in doing really from a protective perspective is making sure that bots and scripts and anyone that's automating the process doesn't ruin the gameplay for those who are genuinely playing it. Because there are different people, right? There's casual farmers and there's serious, like hardcore farmers, and both should be able to have fun, right?
Players have to remember as well, like for the rare items to be on sale on OpenSea, someone has to mint them from the farm using their own resources. So, and we really watching like bots and scripts. They won't be able to, run a bot and mint, couple like thousands of rare items. So this won't be possible. So you can mint one, and if you want to, you can sell it on OpenSea. That's the how it's going to work.
And I think we're seeing right now on the screen, like if you do bot and if you are scripting or using automations, then yeah, I mean, look, here's the difference. You can either have a beautiful, glowing sunflower land, or you're going to get a barren wasteland. And let me just take a moment right now just to explain. There's a lot of people that are like, oh, can we go and buy farms on OpenSea? Yes, you can. However, do your research. Don't go and buy a farm just because it's cheap, or just because, oh, here's a farm, I'm going to buy another one. If that farm is connected to a botting account, it's going to get blacklisted. If you buy that farm, you might be buying a farm that the algorithm hasn't caught up yet. You might end up buying a farm that gets blacklisted, and you're not going to be happy about that. And we can't then go and unblacklist a farm. If it's blacklisted, it's blacklisted. And so we're very careful to only blacklist the ones that we know are breaking the rules and the terms and conditions. But I want you to be aware as a community, be careful. Don't just go and ape in to buy farms because you don't need to do that. In fact, I think we can all agree, and this has been a big topic, and I'd love to talk about it just briefly if we can, guys, and then circle back to carry on with Spencer and Romy about the items. There's been a lot of talk about multi-accounting. I used to be able to multi-account. What's going to happen to my multi-accounts? How do I deal with all of my accounts? Can you talk about what that looks like moving forward, the decisions you've made, why you've done it, and just give people kind of a process right now? I mean, I'm telling everyone just to wait and not do anything. People are panicking. Some people are. What can people do right now if they had multiple accounts in the first version? We now know from the updated white paper, which everybody should have read, by the way. You should all read 99% of the questions that are asked are already answered in a white paper. Just so you know that. What can people do if I had multiple farms in version 1? What should I be doing right now?
Look, right now is you play your one farm during beta so you don't get blacklisted. That's the first and foremost thing you want to focus on. Start collecting resources there. Once we're out of beta, you will be able to have multiple farms. There will be a cap on that. We're thinking the cap is going to be around 5, and that limit is because that's what we think is humanly possible to manage at that point. If you have more than 5 farms, you're either a godlike gamer or you're using bots. And so that's our reasoning around that limit. In terms of using those accounts, we will have a few checks in place. You can't have your mobile and a browser open, both trying to farm at the same time. You're working on one farm, you're building out your animals, you're taking care of your animals. Later on, you go to a specialized farm, which is for mining and gathering resources. You're playing the game one farm at a time and focusing on that. In terms of the people that do have multiple farms, you're just going to have to wait until we do enable you to bring more of those farms on that you want to manage.
Okay, so I think that answers the question, guys. If you had multiple farms, just wait, don't do anything. But right now, only play one farm at a time, because that's what I think the future is going to hold. Where the confusion's been, you're not going to have 5 farms open on your screen at the same time anymore. That's not how this game will be played. You'll have a farm, you'll play that farm, and then you'll log out of that farm and you'll log into another farm. So you'll only be playing one farm at a time. It's just that one might be focused on farming wheat, another one might be focused on farming wood, another one might be focused on farming items that maybe haven't even been introduced yet. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to do. So as the team is saying, you won't be able to manage multiple farms. It won't be possible like it was before. Okay, that's cool. And just to add to this, I just want to touch on one point, if that's okay. Ellie says, I wish you wouldn't post about items that are blacklisted so that the community can't buy them. Ellie, it's not possible. This is blockchain. It's transparent. It's immutable. It's on the ledger. You can't take something off the ledger. That's not how crypto blockchain technology works. All we can do is change the metadata to make it so that it can't interact with the game. And so when it's blacklisted, it's still an item that's available. It's just that blacklisted item won't be able to interact with the game. So, but we can't just remove them, unfortunately, which is why we've done it the way we've done it. I hope that makes sense. Guys, I mean, show me something else, Adam. I'm looking at these blacklisted farms. I think we've covered that. I'm definitely not a bot farmer, and I don't automate scripts, so this does not affect me because, like most of the community, I'm a hardworking farmer. So what else can we look at? And also, just to circle back, because I appreciate we diverted. Spencer and Romy, how do you guys feel about the resources? Like how is it looking from your perspective? We've got music NFTs. You guys have been building stuff. Spencer, we've got this like modular land that you're working on. Like, how does that look like? And how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I
I
think
love
it's
the real. Sorry, Spencer. I just want to say that I really love the real economy aspect that we're introducing with all these items. As you said, the demand will drive the prices up or down. It's up to the community. You know, if everyone is farming wheat, you have like too much wheat, and then the price will drop, and then everyone starts buying and crafting scarecrows, for example, and then the wheat, stock drops, and then everyone starts farming wheat again, and then it's a real economy, and I love this aspect of the freedom that this brings to all the players.
Yeah, I agree. It's incredible. It's like a real life economy, right? It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's what I love about it the most. In a past life, I was a dairy farmer, and I think, there's this definitely mimics the real world, right? Like you might be growing corn, for example, to feed your cows, but it's a bad harvest, so you start buying in, other produce to feed your animals for that season. Very much mimics that. And another part of it is I feel like it creates this collective gaming experience, right? Like we see these people building these spreadsheets, there's people making YouTube videos about strategy. I think this is only going to grow. We're kind of not playing, we're playing this collective game where it's like we're all looking at what is coming up, what we need to do. And it's like someone mentioned before, like you could get together with a group of friends and kind of pool resources and, and get these things together. During the pandemic, I played this is a very meta comment, but I played this board game called Pandemic, and it was really wild because you weren't playing against one another, you were playing together to try to beat this pandemic. And I feel like a lot of that kind of mindset lends to this game where it's like we all have access to the same information. It's like, how do we use that information, and how do we kind of play it to kind of better serve ourselves or our friend group or whatever. That's what I love about it the most.
Nice, and I love that. And guys, just to clear up, I can see these questions in the chat. let me just, for absolute clarity, let me just explain this. We are in beta right now. On the 15th of this month, which is in a few days, I don't even know what month we're in anymore. I'm so confused. But in a few days, on the 15th of April, it will still be beta. Nothing changes. It was beta now. It will be beta then. We'll be in beta throughout April. So this is not, the 15th is not the official launch. It's not the live game. It's still beta. The only thing that happens on the 15th is that you can withdraw. So the token will go live, the SFL token contract will go live, and you can withdraw your resources from the bank. It's still beta. It's still one farm per account. Nothing changes. It's not multiple farms. It's not multiple accounts. It's not live. It's still beta. It's just we're opening new features within beta. So please, hopefully that clears that up. I want you to understand that items will be tradable on the marketplace, on OpenSea, on the 15th, and you will get access to the SFL contracts. You'll be able to buy and sell. But it's still beta and it's still one farm. Sorry, guys. I just wanted to clear that up because there was a lot of people asking it. That was all. I'm looking right now at the screen, Adam, and I can see just this sea of blue check marks. Like done, 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 done. I mean, this is incredible, right? This goes back to what we were saying before. You guys are just smashing out updates left, right, and center, and it's just new feature, new feature, new feature. Every time we log into the game, there's something new, whether it's a hostage situation with goblins, whether it's a new book that's arrived, whether it's some lore, whether it's some clouds. I mean, what's going on here? Like, we're, in terms of what was planned, obviously that's out the window because you'd planned some stuff and then you completely over-delivered on what was planned. I'm a little bit concerned that maybe people are going to start expecting this, and if you don't over-deliver one time, they're going to be like, hey, why have we not got mountains with diamonds? Like, we should have had that 4 weeks ago. You mentioned it yesterday. Like, what does this look like now? Where from where we are and where we're going? Like, what can we expect in April?
Yeah, okay. I actually need to do some more check marks here. The skill and progression's done. NFTs is done as well. The way we are approaching this project is, step one, we do need to build a solid game that people can play. It's smooth experience. And that's kind of what we're focusing on right now, getting all the resources out there, all the crafting, mechanics, skills, leveling. So that works well. So we can actually move towards what our vision is. The aim isn't just to build this farming game. There's a much bigger picture, and right now that's kind of just stage one. Is let's focus on building out these gameplay features. Let's make sure that all these resources are distributed, so we have hundreds of thousands of people that hold sunflowers, potato, wheat. It's not centralized. It's not whales that hold these big amounts. And then we move on to these next few stages. And just a heads up, we're not a project that we're going to be pumping up these things. These could change. We're learning more about the economy and the players every day. This is currently our plan to get to our vision. You'll see us on GitHub doing proposals every other week. Come and give feedback on them. You can actually help us shape where this game is going to go. The next stage is this idea of land expansion. And so right now, if you're playing, you're actually extremely lucky because you have 5 trees on your farm, you have rocks, you have gold. It's not always going to be that way. If you want to unlock these resources and new ones like diamond, emerald, you will need to expand your land with a unique NFT. And the way that will work is that when you do collect enough resources and SFL to expand, purchase a new bit of land, it'll join your farm and you'll get the chance of finding rare resources. Each bit will actually be unique. You might get very lucky and find 5 gold rocks. You might not get lucky. You might get some barren bit of land with just a few trees on it.
Wow.
And that's kind of bringing a bit more scarcity into the resources in the game. You're going to have to be very strategic for trying to collect these resources. you will be looking for other farms that have minted rare bits of land that have joined on. And so we've got these resources. We're expanding this idea of economy, making things more scarce. And that kind of, this gets us through stage 2, where everything is, it's a lot more scarce. There's a lot more trading that is going to need to happen. And prices are going to get a lot more dynamic as well. And so we've talked quite a lot about this supply and demand. Right now, everything is just tied to the supply and demand of the SFL token compared to crops. And so the more SFL that is inside of our ecosystem as people farm and trade their crops for SFL, the less rewards you get for those crops. So right now, you get quite a lot of SFL for a sunflower. In 2 weeks, when there's an extra million sunflowers, the price is actually going to drop. We want this to work individually for every single resource in the game. And so we were talking about this earlier, when there is a high demand of gold on the market, dynamically, we want the price of that to change in the game. When there's a lot of wheat, that should be a low price in the game. The next day, if there's more wheat, if there's less wheat, then price goes up. And so that's kind of stage 2, is there's no deadlines around when we're going to get these happening, but we think this will be a really strong sort of gameplay element. And if you're a strategic gamer, like, you're going to love this. You're going to have to be doing research. You're going to have to get into your spreadsheets. You're going to have to go and check out the decentralized exchange prices to actually decide, what am I going to do today and for the next week or so. And so once we get to stage 3, you can think we've got this really solid game. We've got this really solid tokenomic model for each of the resources. And this is where we are super passionate about. It's a long journey to get to this stage. But this is what Spencer alluded to, the idea of, we don't want to be crypto overlords that control this game. The vision is that this is a gift to give back to the community. And so it is handing over the keys for the community to control the game. Right now, it's through GitHub proposals, and it's through trust, which is great, and we're very thankful that everyone is on there giving us feedback. But for this to be purely decentralized, we do need to go the path of implementing a DAO, implementing proper voting structures, and this is when it gets really cool, when we start focusing on protocols where designers and developers can start building on top of Sunflower Land. They can start adding their own items in there. There's a Sunflower Land DEX that's controlled by the goblins. And so it's sort of converting all these ideals that we have around the community and how the game should be run, actually creating protocols for these, putting these on the blockchain. And so the game will run by itself, and it truly is a community-driven project. It's just not people saying it is. That's technically how it works. And so that's sort of the vision, where we're always aiming to get to this stage 3. What we do before that is strengthening the game, making that super sound. So by the time we get to this stage, it's just ready to go.
I mean, wow, that's a lot to unpack, and exciting as well. I mean, I'm sitting there and I'm already starting to think about all of the things that can come from this. I mean, this is a layer and a depth that most people don't see. You know, when most people come to this game, it's like version 1, right? Version 1 was very simplified. Version 2 saw this expansion where we've now got Sunflower Town, and we've got all these new buildings, and now we've got all these new abilities, and now we're talking about land expansion and scarcity. So a couple of questions, just to, if you don't mind, I'd love to know. The nodes, I'll call them nodes, the resource nodes that we have on our land, are they going to start to reduce in the future? Are they unlimited forever? Are they unlimited during beta? How is that going to look in terms of, like, we know we've got our 1 gold, we've got our 2 iron, our 3 stone, and our 5 trees. Are they always going to be there on a standard farm, or are we going to start to see the fact that we have to expand? Are they going to run out?
Yeah, it depends what the community votes on.
Wow.
We will we will have a few proposal up there, but we're just not going to make this decision and be like, everyone's trees are gone, and all of a sudden you wake up and your trees aren't there. We'll go through this process. Where we are leaning is like gold. That's very rare. That's not going to exist on everyone's farms. You will have a tree or two to help you build up some resources at the start, and you will have some fields. But in the future, you will need to expand to unlock new fields. What happens with those current fields, we need to decide as a community. Like, what do we think will actually make this game more enjoyable? Will make all the resources that you currently have and all the crops that you currently have more valuable and more fun in the game. And so I don't have a solid answer. Some of these questions, it's going to be whatever the community proposes, whatever everyone votes on in GitHub.
Well, that's the beauty of this, right? Is it's a community-based game.
As Adam said, every week something changes. So these are just ideas, and then the community always come up with great ideas, and then sometimes their ideas are even better than ours. And then we have to, get these ideas and build on top of it. So it's great to have this beautiful community helping us build this game.
And I've seen some of these proposals, and they are, I mean, if you haven't done it yet, chat, go and have a look at the GitHub. I mean, you can be one of two types of people, right? You can be the person who plays the game, or you can be the person who contributes towards the future of the game. Like, you have a choice. If there's something that you don't like in the game, rather than complaining about it on social media or in Discord, go and voice your opinion, be heard. And I'm not talking about, oh, this is a problem. What is a constructive way to deal with this is to say, hey, this doesn't work very well, but here's a proposal for something that would work differently or maybe better. Like, don't just come with a problem, come with a potential solution. Because if you do that, it's much more likely that it will be heard. There's a lot of noise with people saying we like this, we don't like that. If you don't like something, that's fine. If enough people don't like something, it can be changed. But to do that, there has to be what that change is. So if you don't like something and enough people don't like it, and there's a proposal for a change, and it's articulated in a respectful and a clear way on GitHub using the official proper channels, then it will be listened to. So I hope that helps for the people that are genuinely interested in the future of the game. Not just a when tractor, which is a question that I'm seeing a lot at the moment. When tractor? Nobody's asking for Lambos. Nobody wants Lambos anymore. Lambos are so last year. Everyone wants a tractor now.
That is a proposal on GitHub as well for anyone that wants to check out. There's a NFT tractor proposal.
There you go. Go onto GitHub and check out. Where can people find GitHub? Is there an easy link or a way that people can find it? If people aren't used to it, they've never used it before. It's kind of developer focused. So, Adam, could you just show me on your screen, like how would I find GitHub if I was in the game or if I was looking at the docs or on the website?
That's a good point. There's a lot of people working on it, and so it does come up as one of the main links. And so I usually just Google it, and because so many designers and developers on it, you can actually just come here and find it. You've 854 stars, 317 different people have pulled down on it and working on it. It comes up here. And so the issues part, so GitHub is what we kind of use to collaborate. The code is visible, it's transparent. People can submit code that gets into the game. And then the issues part here is where you can see proposals that are coming in. There's art requests sometimes. There's a lot of really cool things and long discussions that happen in here. And we do voting on these parts as well. Come in here if you have ideas, if you want to help out the game, come in the GitHub issues, voice your opinion. We're always looking for help, and you'll find everyone in the community, everyone in GitHub they're looking to help. They're looking to get people interested in this project. That's the whole point. It's community. We're teaching, we're learning together. And yeah, head over to GitHub.
Nice. Okay, so any general questions, general problems, anything generally, Discord. If you're looking to contribute and help, with meaningful conversations. We don't want noise. The idea is not to come in there and say, hey, my account, like, that's not what the GitHub's for. Like, don't get the two mixed up. Discord for general communication, GitHub for focused, clear communication around the future of the game. I think that makes sense. Is it possible we can get the GitHub link on the website at some point, maybe, for people, so they don't have to Google it? Maybe we could in the future, or do you not want to?
I think we do. I've gone to the old one there. We probably do have a GitHub link somewhere. Yeah, so if you come down to our team,
Okay, there we go.
It wouldn't be a team if we didn't even mention the GitHub. Like, we have so many developers and designers that are on there that it's one big team, and so that link does work. Yeah,
Perfect. There we go. So if you do want to go to the GitHub, sunflower-land, scroll down, team section, there's a link there that you can click on it. So awesome. Wow. I mean, land expansion's one thing that's got me thinking now. I mean, I could, and that's going to be RNG. Is that correct? That's going to be to the point where you're going to mint some, like, you'll have some resources which will be farmable from the start. It might take longer, you know, if you're starting off slow, but you'll be able to gather these resources and eventually you'll be able to expand your land. And am I right in believing that the RNG element is going to determine what land you get? Is that resources? It could be gold mine or gold nodes and things like that. So I might get a farm with like a diamond, an emerald, and 2 gold mines, and I might think, wow, this is incredible. I could farm those resources, or I could just sell that land expansion for someone else, right? If I connect it to my farm, is there going to be a way to connect it and then it's connected? Can I detach it again? Can I sell it individually? Have you got thoughts around what you want to do with that?
I really want to explore this idea that you can imagine we've got this huge grid in Sunflower Land, and when you mint your token, you get the spot on this grid. And when you start expanding your grid, you're building out this grid. If you expand far enough, you might actually touch someone else's grid. This is the idea of how technically feasible this is, but I think it's not just you've got scarcity of resources, you've got scarcity of land. And so you want to expand quickly. When you mint your farm and your farm 100,000, next person's 100,001, you're about 50 spots away from each other. It'll be a race to actually fill your land up and work with your neighbor and do things like that. That's where I want to take it. That's sort of a few ideas that we're bouncing around at the moment.
Wow. That will put huge scarcity on, not just for any farm, because anyone could mint a farm, right? And you could end up on the grid. Is there the potential I mean, obviously I'm assuming that the grid will always have the potential for people to join. I mean, are you getting to the point where you might think in the future, if you think you've got millions of active daily users, are people not going to be able to mint their farms anymore? Are they going to only be able to buy them on the secondary market? Or is it always, do you think, going to be the option to have this low barrier of entry to get started?
Who knows? I'm learning so much about the sort of scarcity around the farms and how many people is good for a sustainable economy. I think we always want everyone to be able to play. I think accessibility is something huge. We don't want to be a project where you got to buy a $100 NFT to play. It's if you got a Matic and a mobile browser or a desktop browser, come and play. And so I don't think we're ever going to stray away from those ideals. We want it to be a very low, easy, accessible game.
Low and easy and accessible, but not too low that bots take over. I like that. So, okay. And I think that helps people to understand that there'll always be the ability to get started, but there's also going to be the ability to expand if you have those ambitions. You know, if you want to take it further, you can. People are saying that the farms with high APR and long lockdowns, this would be bigger than DeFi kingdoms. I mean, who knows? Who knows? We'll see where this goes, right? This has got potential. Wow. I mean, there's so much to think about, right? So much to think about. And I love the idea that nothing's set in stone or iron or gold. It's all it's all agile. I mean, so much to think about. Romy, when radio, like I love the idea of people being able to like craft a really easy radio that allows them to listen to music. as an entry point. Like maybe the music player isn't
Yes.
available until they get their sunflower radio.
And actually, there's a proposal on that as well. So go to GitHub and have a look.
There we
And
go.
you
right?
can be part. You can be part of this feature.
This is crazy. This is crazy. Can I've got there's so many thoughts going around my head right now. I really need to take some time. I'm gonna have to watch this back and really unpack it to kind of. This is incredible. Can we just quickly touch on? And I'm conscious of time as well. I don't know how long you guys have, and I don't want to keep you, but at the same time, it's amazing to have this kind of free flowing conversation. Can we touch on SFL for a moment? On the 15th, we've talked about the SFL contract going live and the ability to withdraw from our farms. I have been advocating a lot recently about play and own rather than play and earn. And I think the earn aspect in Web3 has been quite dangerous because it's given people this expectation that, hey, if I just log in and click and farm every day, then I can just earn a wage and I don't have to work. And there's this kind of, this almost, I'm going to say, toxic, entitled community that's forming around certain communities. And so in a way to deal with that and to hopefully not have that happen, the whole pump and dump and the challenge in the economy is to educate people. Like there has to be a lot more education in Web3. And I think the own aspect is a big part of that. It's about ownership. It's about custody of your Web3 wallet and your NFT assets. Because this is not just digital land. In the future, I see physical land taking the same route, you know, with NFTs for ownership of a title deed and things like that. So when the SFL does go live, and people are going to want to keep some to expand and to buy things and to mint and to craft, is there any thoughts or any feedback that you want to give around the 15th and around SFL and what people should or could do? What would you be thinking about doing at that time? We know we've got the wishing well. There's kind of a lot of people need to understand there's tax to withdraw. Can we just have a quick conversation and touch on that for people?
Yeah, I think firstly, it is up to people. We can't give any advice. These are your tokens. Do what you want with these tokens. I think from our point of view, the last thing we want is a pump and dump. It's just not sustainable for a project. I think it'll take a couple of years to get to this vision that we care so much about, and we need to sustain economy for that long. It'll be a challenge. It'll be a fun one. We get to go on. I think on launch day, when the token becomes tradable and people can do what they want with it, it's going to be wild, and it's crypto. It's unpredictable. What can happen? We do have mechanisms in place for anyone who's seen the wishing well. If you are interested or you want to learn about providing liquidity and what that means in crypto, you can do that. And then when you do visit the wishing well, you are going to be getting bonuses. You'll be getting rewards in the game. And that is just to incentivize people who want to give back to this community, who actually want to help out the sunflower land ecosystem, because we need a huge community supporting us. The designers and developers are great, but we need those people that aren't just draining the system of all the tokens that they get and just selling them off to other people. We want people that believe in this project, that want to hold on to their sunflowers, their tokens, their SFL, their items that they're crafting, because they believe in the future of the project. And so that's all we're hoping. I know, given all the community that we're interacting with on a daily basis, I don't think people are going to be getting rid of those items that they're crafting. You'll have to pry it from their hands if you want to get a golden cauliflower, I think.
I can attest to that. There is no way I'm selling my Christmas tree. Not a chance. Not a chance. There are some things that are worth more than money. And I think that as this game evolves and you have more of a, Napoleon Bonaparte once said it. He said, men will fight long and hard for a piece of coloured ribbon. The status and almost the ego and the pride and the self-worth that you get by owning some of these rare items, they're going to be worth more than money. But also, as Adam's rightly said, they're your NFTs. You do with them as you wish. If you want to dump your tokens, you can dump them. But there'll be a tax and there'll be a penalty for that to protect the economy. And I'm right in believing that the tax from the withdrawal tax, some of that will be fed into the wishing well to reward those who give to the community and give to the economy.
That's it. You see this withdrawal tax, and you're like, oh, where's this tax coming from? You got to remember, firstly, there's no pre-mine of the token, and so part of the way that we can finance this team is when you withdraw, there'll be a tax. Some of that tax will go to that wishing well, and so that goes back into the system, and those people that are providing liquidity, they get benefited, and the other part goes to the team. And so we're only successful when people are playing this game, people are withdrawing, and people actually want this token. And that's what we want to keep that model going. With that tax as well, we don't want to incentivize someone who's trying to farm on a large scale. Mainly, if someone's thinking of setting up a bot farm and just doing sunflowers and getting 1 SFL a day on multiple accounts, if you're just withdrawing 1 SFL, the tax is going to be high. I think it's around 25-30%. If you're a loyal player who's been building out their farm for weeks and then you want to withdraw, it's going to be a lot lower. It'll be around 10-15%. It's all on a scale of the resources and amount of time you've actually been spending on your farms, how much that tax will be.
Nice. Okay, that's really good to know. So there's going to be incentives for people to hold, but also we're not stopping people from withdrawing. It's just that you'll get less. It won't be as efficient to withdraw small amounts often.
Yeah.
Nice.
This was also a community proposal that people voted on. This was one of our earlier proposals when we started the rebuild, which had a lot of feedback from the community. It was a really good start to this idea of kind of coming up with a collective decision. And it was really nice to hear really rational arguments, understanding the conflicting concerns, like around being able to support the team, being able to provide liquidity for our, economy to kind of be sustainable. So that's a perfect example of how collectively we came up with this idea of what would be best for Sunflower Land at this point.
And
there's another thing I want to mention. Yeah, sorry. Adam mentioned about people learning how liquidity works. One thing that I was talking to Adam yesterday was about how, there's a lot of players that are joining Sunflower Land and actually learning about crypto through Sunflower Land. That's awesome as well to see, we are onboarding people in this crypto world through a game, right? And that's yesterday I had people asking me, what is a liquidity pool? And then we have the wishing well where they will be learning how all this works, right? And it's through a gamified thing that you learn important aspects of the crypto world. So I think this is a really nice thing to see in this game and the community, how we onboard people into the crypto.
I agree. And I think there is a mass adoption coming. I think on a global level, some of the best minds in the world have already agreed that the metaverse will be the gateway to mass adoption, and gamifying the process is the way of simplifying and removing the barriers to entry. I don't know many games out there that have a game loop simpler than Sunflower Land. It's complex, but it's simple. And that's the beauty of this. You have this simplified retro game that it's not AAA studio graphic heavy that you need. It's not like Vulcan Forged where you need a gaming PC to play it. Pretty much any phone is going to be able to play this game. And that's intentional because we don't want to limit people's ability to play it, right? The developers have already said that. But at the same time, there's a complexity with strategy and with working together with a community that you can evolve this into whatever you want it to be. One question I just want to touch on, because I think this is a good one, and we might not be able to answer it now, and if we can't, that's totally fine. But JB said, is the starting price of SFL going to be set by the developers? Are you guys going to set the initial price of the token? How is that going to happen on the 15th? How How will people determine what SFL is worth?
We will, I guess you could say we do determine. There'll be a split second where we set the initial price.
Before it
But
does its...
Well, no, it's up to everyone. It's like no matter what we do, if we set a higher price and everyone, all the gamers think it deserves to be lower, it's instantly going to go to that price. If we set a very low price and people think it's a lot rarer, it's going to take seconds to go to that price. And so even though we will set that initial pool, it's the community that's actually going to pick where that price goes. So we can't give you an answer of what that is going to be.
And I think it's really important, with that being said, guys, you need to understand how this liquidity works. There's no pre-mine. There's not 10 million SFL tokens that have been created for this. The only SFL that exists in the market is what has been created, what people have spent their time farming. And so for you to be able to buy SFL, if you think it's cheap, you have to buy it from another player. And if at the same time, if you want to sell your SFL, you have to sell it to another player or to someone that wants to buy it. And so that's where the liquidity will come into this. That's where the wishing well will help. And so it's just really important for you to understand that, as what Adam said, whatever that price is set at to start, it's going to find where it belongs. And that's up to you as a community. Like there's no influence. We could set it at $10, we could set it at $1, we could set it at 1 cent. It's irrelevant because it will find where it belongs. And that's just down to maths and economics. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting week, right? To see where this goes. I'm excited. I'm watching, and I'm going to be providing liquidity as well, 100%, because I'm in this for the long term, right? I'm not looking to cash out and get. In fact, I'm not going to be selling any of my SFL. I can't afford to. There's so many NFTs that I want to buy. I'm just looking now, thinking, oh my god, this shopping list, it's gonna grow, right? Are there any plans to launch any more NFTs in the near future? Are we gonna see any surprises? Maybe an Easter egg reveal around Easter? I don't know. Is there anything that you wanna? I'm gonna try and get some alpha out of you now.
I'll say the golden egg functionality has been decided, and what that hatches into is being designed at the moment. But we do know what is in that egg. But I think that'll be 2 months, because we've got a lot of features that we got to build. So you've got a couple of months to craft that egg. I think there's still 100 of those left, maybe.
Wow.
But that will be coming out. There'll be something in that egg. It's starting to shake.
Ooh. Right, you can carry on, guys. I'm just going to tend to my farm. I've got some crops that I need to deal with. Wow. Okay, there's some incredible things here. So we've got the governance statue that we know about. We've got the golden egg. We've got animals. We've got crops. We've got land expansions. Wow, we've covered so much. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
That's it. We're learning every day. We're listening to the community, and look, we don't have this set in stone plan, and we don't have these fancy graphics, and we don't have this AAA backing. But if you want to support a project, and if you actually just believe in us as people and want to be on this journey with us, like, this is a project for you. Like, we want you to help out. We want you to stay with us. So super grateful for everyone that's here, and it's going to be a wild journey. It'll be a long journey, but we're all in it together.
Nice. Thank you very much, Spencer. Any kind of? I think we're good to wrap up. It's been a really good conversation. I don't want it to obviously go on too long. I know you guys are super busy, but I'd love to hear any thoughts that you have before we head off.
I just second everything that Adam said. I think we're all in this together. It's super exciting to be part of this family. And I just can't wait to see where we are in the next month, the next 2. Just bring on more and more people. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is a really, really fun opportunity. And happy to have you all here.
Nice.
Yeah.
Guys, I will answer some questions before we end, but I just want to give Romy a chance to add to that. So let's just let Romy just give his final thoughts. We'll just answer a few questions that have come up for you guys, because I know there's some people with that, and then we'll head off. Is that all right, guys? Are you okay with that? Romy, what
Yeah.
what about yourself, my friend? How do you see?
I just want to thank the community that has been supporting us for all this period. I know there's a lot of people waiting for this launch, and we're here, we're live, and everything's going well. There's a lot of people enjoying and farming, and I want to thank the community devs, the community artists, the musicians. I'm getting a couple of songs from people, so this is really great experience. And yeah, keep playing, keep contributing to the project. We really appreciate it.
Nice.
And the moderators. I just want to give a massive shout out to the
Definitely,
moderators.
yeah.
The people in Discord that are answering all the questions, helping everybody, staying calm. It's like I have no idea what we would do without you guys. So I'm super, 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 super appreciative of all the work that you do.
That is the it's a thankless job, and they are incredible.
Oh man,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah,
we'll
it's
definitely have to
mind-blowing.
create a moderator NFT. There has to be
100%.
something for them. There has to be like a something. Quick questions then. Just to have we'll do a quick fire round if that's okay. Just to pop through, if that's okay, just a few minutes. Can halving go backwards if enough SFL is burnt?
Not in this new version. That was a flaw from Sunflower Farmers. We're not going to bring that over into Sunflower Land.
Okay, good to know. So once a halving happens, a halving happens. Are you open to advertisements inside the game from external companies?
Don't know yet. Depends what the type of the company is and if it fits the ideals and if it looks like nice pixel art. It's a potential.
Okay, so there's possibility there. Nice. Okay, we're not going to speculate on token costs and price at the moment, but there is one thing. When version 1 closed, the coin price was between 50 to 60 cents, and you gave people a choice. Either sell your token or trust us and wait. What can you tell us now for trusting those people? I mean, I can just say right now that the longer you hold assets within the game, the more valuable they will become over time. So you will be focusing on the NFTs aspects, and if you had your SFL in the previous version, that carries forward. So you're going to have that advantage right now of having some more in-game assets. The value of that token, we don't know. We can't say. But what I can say is that there will be items that will be valuable. They'll be worth money. I mean, there are already things like from the last version, a Christmas tree was selling for like an ether on OpenSea. Like, there are going to be some rare items that you have the opportunity to get that will be valuable. So you just need to give it time and let things settle down, but just trust the process and everything will be okay. I don't know if you guys want to add to that. I just kind of wanted to I don't want to speculate on price. Like, I don't want to say it's going to be worth $1 or a cent or anything. Like, as you guys have already said, it will settle at whatever it's meant to be. When will story mode be available?
Stories is in there. We're sprinkling a bit of the lore in there, and you need to pick a side in the game where we're not going to have very explicit history telling in the game. You need to explore the land, pick up on clues, because when the time comes, you will need to pick a side in the game. A war is brewing, and it'll be sort of this event-based structure. So when this event comes, those people that are playing at the time, they can participate in that. They need to make a decision. If you make the wrong decision based on your understanding of the law, you won't benefit as much as the people that made the right decision. So keep an eye out for the different little bits on the map that start coming up. You need to sort of understand the law and the history of what's happened in the Sunflower metaverse.
Nice. That's exciting. Do you guys? Some people are saying if we have an issue with Discord, we can't verify, we can't get into it, there's a problem. Do you have a support email? Do you have anything? Because a lot of people go to Discord for support. If they can't access Discord, is there a way that they can connect and contact you?
Not right now. No,
right now.
Discord's what we're focusing on.
If
we
you have a
can't
problem
open
with
it.
Discord, message us on social media and we'll look into it on a case-by-case basis, but only if you can't access Discord. We're not going to be dealing with general support on social media. That's not its purpose. But if you can't access Discord, we'll try our best to help you.
I think that's it. It's the community is all in Discord. All these mods and everyone who's super helpful is in Discord, and that's the best way to find help. We'll try keep an eye out on socials, but we're building a game and we kind of rely on all the comms in Discord. So thank you for your patience right now if it's a bit tough getting into that Discord, but hopefully we'll sort that out soon.
What's the purpose of the gnome?
Secret.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, wait and see for that one. Right, I think that's okay. Plants versus Goblins. Let's go. That's it. When are people going to be able to leave poo on other people's farms? That seems to be a common one. When airdrop.
It'll be the way we want to do that feature is that once someone sends it to your farm, you can't remove it. And so you can buy a token of a bit of poo and you can bombard someone's farm.
Are they going to be able to like turn that into fertilizer or something maybe?
I don't know. I think it'll...
People are going to have really smelly farms.
Be nice to your neighbours, otherwise you might get a dung pie pop up on your farm.
I can see the trolls. We're gonna have trolls that are gonna be bigger than goblins. Oh no! All right, this could be fun. That's the idea, though, right? We're gonna have it fun. I think that's it. Someone said, "I'm so sad. I only discovered this project a few days ago." You're early. You are earlier than everybody who's not here right now. So don't worry. They're like, look, Discord has a limit of 800,000 people. All right, we're only at 100,000 at the moment, nearly. So you're early. You might think, wow, 100,000 people. This is early. Trust me. The game's not even live yet. You can't even craft. You can start playing now. Imagine how people are going to feel next month when they log in and it's like, golden eggs have sold out, or I wish I could have got this, or I wish I could. Like, you're early. You're early. Amazing, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your time. Merchandise is coming. They've already spoken about that. That will happen. Yeah. Why aren't we doing an IDO? Okay. Adam, do you want to cover that? Like, we've already talked about it, but people are asking, like, when decks. Are we going for the quick swap route again?
Quick swap will be the main focus of liquidity for this one.
There we go. So quick swap will be the kind of decks that we'll be using. It's kind of it's not like a centralized dex or decentralized dex. It's kind of like it is a decentralized dex, but it's more peer-to-peer. You create your own liquidity pools and you do it that way, as opposed to like Pancake Swap, who kind of tell you what you can do. This one you kind of do yourself. So nice. All right. Anything else you want to add, or do you want to wrap up? I think that's most of the questions.
That's it.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you so much.
Pick your side.
Can I just take this opportunity on behalf of myself and the whole community? I speak for everyone here, and I know I do. Thank you. Thank you for not crafting a rug and then pulling it. Thank you for your consistent and never-ending support, time, effort, the thankless hours that have gone in behind the scenes, like everything that you've been doing for the last few months to deliver on your promises and to go above and beyond. Thank you. I think Web3 needs this. I think the community needs this, and the fact that you are championing this incredible movement, I'm very proud to be part of it, and I just want to take that moment to say thanks to all of you.
Thanks for your help, Steve.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I know it's the same for everyone. So right. That's it. We're going to end it there on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, the replay will be available on YouTube. Go and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll speak to you all soon. Take care.
Too easy.
See you later.
Too easy. Bye-bye.
Too easy.